Good morning, RMS, Team Colby College, University of Texas, and Ms. Lutz's 5th grade class. I'm Ms. Studer with your Red Fox Report. So yesterday I was out taking a walk and I was just kind of kicking through the leaves because I like to do that. I like the sound. So I was kicking through the leaves of the woods and also lets hunters know if I'm there or scares any deer away so I don't get shot. Obviously, I'm wearing orange. I don't have to. I'm on the road today. So I was thinking about leaves and how they fall off trees and abscission cells, and I stopped and I thought, abscission cells? I bet you guys don't know anything about abscission cells. So first, let's talk a little bit about the word abscission, because it's a lot like the word scissors with ab in front of it. So scissors cut, right? And ab means away from. Think if you abdicate the throne, you leave it. Or if you abduct someone, you take them away from. So that ab has that meaning sometimes of take away from. So these abscission cells form between the stem and the branch, and they create a blockage. They basically cut the leaf off from any nutrition, and the leaf falls off. Now, that cell won't continue there. It will be pushed out of the way by the next bud. But what's really neat is on certain trees, you can totally see where that abscission cell was. So this is a sapling of a ash tree, and ash trees have really neat leaves. They come off of a big long stem and they have pinnate leaves coming off. So there's a long stem with 2 leaves coming off the side, coming off the branch. So obviously that stem is pretty big if it's holding all those leaves. And as a result, the abscission cell scars on the ash tree, you can actually see them. See these white places? See all these white places? These are the scars of the abscission cells. You can see the abscission cells there. Well, I suppose with a microscope. I mean, it just looks like a white crusty spot to me, and that's exactly what it does. It creates this crusty spot. It creates a scab in many ways. In fact, these are called scabs. A scab so that there's no longer any juice flowing to the leaf. That's pretty neat. It took millions of years for that to evolve that way. Because, of course, if a tree with a lot of water in it were to freeze, do you know what happens to water when it freezes? Think. Yeah, it expands. So if you had all these trees with water in them when we had below freezing temperatures, they'd explode. Like literally, they would explode because all that water inside of them would expand and the tree would explode. So that's why it draws all its water down into itself and goes into this dormant period. And that's why it has to get rid of its leaves. Not only that, can you imagine having all those leaves on you in a winter snowstorm? Gosh, it'd pull all your limbs down. So, there are lots of reasons why there aren't leaves on the trees in the winter. Now, I hiked you up here for a reason. This is pretty cool. I say that all the time. Everything out here is cool, really. Well, actually, today everything out here is cold. Because I wanted to show you this red maple. Because red maples, you don't see the abscission cells unless you go right away. And think about it, red maples are one of the first ones to lose their leaves. They turn red before everything else. Like, good Lord, sometimes they turn red in August. They're just overeager. I think of them as overeager because they're overeager in the spring, too. They're one of the first to put out leaves in the spring. And take a look at the end of this branch. So you see this one, you can't see any abscission cells. All you can see are buds, and lots of them. Yeah, this tree is already putting out buds. It's preparing for next year. And of course, in the spring, like in March, end of February, beginning of March, when the tree starts putting some more energy out into its limbs, these get really big. You can see them as you're like driving down the road. If you see a tree that's all gray with like this fuzz of red around it, it's a red maple. They're very common here. And they're really neat because they provide this bud food for a ton of small animals in the spring. So that's my That's my nature report for today. Abscission cells. I think they're pretty cool. You can see I'm out here on my road again because, like I said, I really think tomorrow will be the last time I broadcast in the morning. I'll still do Red Fox reports and post them every morning. I'll just make them in the afternoon after school because, like, I had to wait almost 20 minutes for there to be enough light this morning. Try to think about why that's happening because we're coming up on a really important celestial event. So I'll leave you with that thought. What is a celestial event? And why would we be coming up on one that might be important? So that's something for you to think about. Try not to abscission yourself from your learning today. And I'll be seeing you. Have a great day of remote learning.